Deserving centerpiece on an excellent day's racing. And they're often racing. So the feature today, the Grade 1 Coral Challow Novices Hurdle, is underway. The trip 2.5 miles. They'll be jumping 10 flights of hurdles, and Great Wood Hurdle runner-up Look Away, with his stamina to prove today, is one of the first ones to show, ahead of Captain Teague with Bullets Hill, one of the rank outsiders towards the outside. The Jukebox Man is nice and handy as well. Johnny Who towards the inside, racing along next. Will Mount's a little bit keen, if anything, next. Farnogue is following him, Masaccio and Brave Jen, the two at the back end of the field as they take their first flight of hurdles. Well, no hiding place seemingly for Look Away, who's been taken to the front and led clearly at the first flight of hurdles. On towards number 2. Look Away, Bullets Hill on the stand side now going second. Captain Teague and the Jukebox Man in behind those, followed by Johnny Who and Farnogue. Will Mount in behind those, taking the second. A mistake from Masaccio there at the back end of the field, keeping company with Brave Jen. They move on now towards flight number 3. Look Away, still with the narrow advantage over Bullets Hill on the stand side. Here then, the next flight of hurdles. Good, neat jump from Captain Teague, landed third. The Jukebox Man, in comparison, was just a little bit slower, but he's now regaining his momentum, moves alongside for third as well. Johnny Who and Will Mount next, followed by Farnogue, and then Masaccio, and the back marker being Brave Jen. They have a circuit to go in the Coral Challow Novices Hurdle. Look Away with the advantage. Look Away taking the field away from the stands. And then on the outside, Bullets Hill just nudged along already at this early stage to stay competitive with the leaders. The Jukebox Man inside that one goes handier now, and so too Captain Teague, the shortest way. Will Mount is still a little bit keen and moving forward now on the outside of Johnny Who and Farnogue, and the back two are Brave Jen in company still with Masaccio. On they head towards the first of their flights down the far side. Look Away continuing to lead and stood off that hurdle a mile. Landed in front by a length and a half. Captain Teague and the Jukebox Man still right there, second and third. Will Mount much closer, all the time getting closer. Will Mount into fourth place now as Bullets Hill really feels the pinch and weakens out of it. Look Away produced another good jump there. A mistake from Brave Jen sees Brave Jen now sharing last place with Bullets Hill. Both look as though they may be struggling now. Look Away leading from the Jukebox Man and Captain Teague, Will Mount, Farnogue and Johnny Who. The 6 runners covered by 4 lengths. Masaccio slightly off the pace with Brave Jen, and Bullets Hill as Look Away continues to fly every one of these hurdles. Look Away leading from Captain Teague and the Jukebox Man. Farnogue on the outside of Will Mount, and then Johnny Who taking the next flight, the last over on the far side. Masaccio and Brave Jen just about still in this, and tailing off now is Bullets Hill as they move on towards the end of the back straight. The Coral Challow Novices Hurdle building towards its climax. Look Away set its stall out right the way from the start. Look Away to lead the field. The Jukebox Man in second place, representing Ben Pauling's yard, who won this with the brilliant Barters Hill a few years ago. In behind those, Captain Teague, as now Farnogue comes under a bit of pressure. Gliding along is Johnny Who, and Will Mount's further back, and Will Mount just being pushed along and getting a bit outpaced, and he's been passed by Masaccio, and Will Mount looks in trouble here. He's going to have to respond, and it's not looking as though he's going to do so. Will Mount looking beaten here, turning for home. Look Away with the lead. Here now is the Jukebox Man on the outside. Captain Teague and Johnny Who, and these 4 have rapidly put their mark on the race and have drawn clear as they take the third last. Look Away under the most positive ride. Leads, but in behind him, just look at Captain Teague for Paul Nicholls with such a brilliant record in this race. Between the two of them, Look Away giving plenty. Johnny Who needs to find more in fourth place. Coming now down towards the second last hurdle in the Challow. Far side, Captain Teague. Little bit of a tentative leap though from him. In second place is Look Away, followed then by the Jukebox Man and Johnny Who. Captain Teague, nurse to the front. Look Away will not give up, neither will the Jukebox Man. And then in fourth place comes Johnny Who. Final flight in the Challow, taken by Captain Teague with the lead. Look Away and the Jukebox Man, they are staying on tenaciously. Captain Teague is out in front though, onto the run-in. Captain Teague chased by the Jukebox Man, and Look Away trying to come back. Captain Teague's really weary. Slow motion finish to the Challow. Captain Teague, Johnny Who's still staying on late in the day, but Captain Teague bravely sees it out. It's another Challow for Paul Nicholls. Look Away with the Jukebox Man and Johnny Who made it a tremendous spectacle.
And the market was spot on. Stamina to the fore. Nicholls has another Challow. Cobden rides another Grade 1 winner. It's Captain Teague, the champion bumper third, that has slugged his way to Challow.